Cindy Clouse was killed in this, and her brother calls Roger Hagger a monster for what deputies say he did. Detectives say he used a shotgun to kill his longtime partner and their two daughters, Autumn and Mackenzie. Deputies say Clouse was trying to leave the family home when things turned deadly. A county rocked by tragedy over the unthinkable killings of two girls and their mother, all found shot to death at their home outside of Pullman Saturday.
I don't recall a number or situation quite like this.
Allegan County Sheriff Frank Baker says 35-year-old Cindy Clouse was in the process of moving out and ending a relationship with Roger Hagger.
Our detectives have advised me that they had information that she was looking to leave the relationship and to get her and the children out.
Investigators say Hagger shot Clouse and their two children, 13-year-old Autumn and 10-year-old Mackenzie. One of Clouse's brothers found the bodies after the mother didn't return any calls in over 24 hours.
When you're leaving domestic violence, that is the most dangerous time for you.
And that's why things can turn deadly, says Cherie Thomas. She's with the Michigan Coalition to End Domestic and Sexual Violence. Why the kids? Why take the lives of the kids?
It's the ultimate act of power and control. Victims have been told, if you ever try and leave me, I will hurt the kids or take the kids from you.
The two girls killed were both students at Fenville schools. Grief counselors were on hand today to help students cope. District Superintendent says Mackenzie and Autumn always did the right thing and were truly remarkable students. Family and detectives say there were no obvious signs of trouble before the incident, leaving detectives with unanswered questions.
That's just something that I think we'll all be mind-boggled about is, why, and that's what really makes it really tragic. I mean, it's tragic enough when someone takes their own life, but when they take someone with them, and especially children. Autopsy results on all four are still pending. Autumn would have turned 14 tomorrow. She wanted to be a dermatologist, her family says.
We're now just a few days out from Michigan's full-time state lawmakers returning to Lansing, although this year Democrats have control of both the state House and state Senate. Our political reporter Rachel Louise Just takes us through what we can expect to see in a newly democratically controlled legislature.
Less than 2 days until Michigan's brand new legislature returns to these halls in Lansing, and details about what to expect are few and far between, but a picture is beginning to emerge. Democrats now hold power in both chambers in Lansing for the first time in 4 decades, but the majority is slim, so we could see fireworks if Democrats decide to make bold, progressive moves.
Even Governor Whitmer a few weeks ago says that because the legislative majorities are only one seat in both the House and the Senate, that they don't have a mandate. That they got to look at work, they're going to work in that middle 70%, or they're going to go off on the extreme left.
Right now, Democrats are keeping their agenda close to the chest. Neither Democratic leader was available for an interview today, but we did get some insight into their priorities from interviews conducted after the election.
You saw the message that we talked about, our values, over the campaign trail for most of the year. When we talked about education, infrastructure, we also talked about workers' rights, reducing the cost of health care.
Sources tell me an agenda for Democrats is incoming.
All the things that we've been talking about for a long time around the table.
Some priorities for House Republicans: tax relief, attracting talent to Michigan, and safer communities. Senate Republicans have a similar plan.
Republican leader Matt Hall and I go way back. We have a good friendship, and he and I both believe that Michigan needs to be governed by a common sense approach that helps our economy grow, provide proper funding for roads, bridges, and education while pushing back against these extreme, super liberal partisanship position.
This year, we know we can expect to spend more time in the Capitol. Last year, only 86 days of session were scheduled. This year, we have 110. Session begins on Wednesday.
Nearly 200,000 veterans have filed claims with the Veterans Administration for health issues from burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic substances. While the PACT Act passed back in August, veterans are still waiting for help and may not even know that help's out there. Up North Live's Josh Kerman spoke with a veteran here in northern Michigan who started receiving help to find out how this makes a difference.
More than 500,000 veterans call Michigan home, and thousands who believe they were subjected to toxins while serving have been looking for help for decades. Now, the PACT, or Promise to Address Comprehensive Toxics Act, is speeding up that process.
My experience in the past wasn't all that great. When I first retired in '94 and I applied for my benefits, it was a snail's pace, up and back and forth from Detroit, you know, up, back home, down, back home, you know, to Detroit to get these compensations I was applying for, but very, very little had come about.
Koenig served from 1977 to 1994 and said he applied for help due to exposure to Agent Orange in Guam and burn pits during the Gulf War. Koenig had applied for benefits before and received help for Desert Storm fatigue, but said he was unable to get help for other issues.
The migraine headaches that I get from it. So the PACT Act was a really new thing, and it went through really quick. I mean, when I retired in '94, it wasn't out there, but just, you know, this past November, when Sarah called me to talk about it, it went really fast.
And that's the hope for these services, to get them to veterans who have needed them for decades.
We want to ensure when the veterans apply that their case is handled expeditiously. Expeditiously is what we do when we deploy. Expeditiously, but with a level of detail that is correct, because it does no good to do things quickly and then not get it right.
The PACT Act currently covers veterans impacted by the Vietnam War through the Gulf War, but healthcare enrollment will continue to expand that range through 2030. Koenig started his toxic exposure screening in December. He expects the new health benefits and disability to make a huge difference in the new year.
I just want to say, if you've served, check with your local veterans office, because they know the programs, they know what's available. If you don't go and look, you'll never know what you're eligible for.
Josh Kerman, Up North Live News.
And applications are open for assistance with burn pit or Agent Orange exposure. You can apply by mail, by phone, online, or at your local VA. We will have a link to applications on our website, upnorthlive.com.